Have you ever wondered why your dog chooses your bed, even when they have their own? Not just sometimes, but every night, right next to you. It looks simple, comfortable, maybe even a little clingy, but what if that moment isn't about sleep at all? What if, in the one moment they're most vulnerable, your dog is making a choice most people completely misunderstand? Because what they're really doing in that moment is something almost no owner ever notices. And once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. And this is where everything starts to shift. Because your dog isn't just sleeping next to you. They're positioning themselves. Look closely at where they choose to lie. At the foot of the bed, between you and the door, sometimes stretched across your legs. Like a barrier. That's not random. That's placement. Most people think their dog just found a comfortable spot, but comfort doesn't explain direction. It doesn't explain awareness. Your dog isn't just lying down. They're facing something. The door, the hallway, the space where something could enter. Because even in a quiet home, a part of them is still running an ancient script. Watch. Guard. Stay alert. And here's what changes everything. They don't choose the safest spot for themselves. They choose the spot that covers you. That means something. Because in that moment, your dog isn't acting like a pet. They're acting like a pack member with a role. Not resting, but staying ready, even if nothing ever happens. Even if the night stays completely still. They still take that position every single night. And maybe that's why this is so easy to miss. Because it looks like nothing, just your dog. Lying there, eyes half closed, body relaxed. But underneath that calm, there's intention, there's awareness, there's a quiet decision being made again and again. If something happens, I'm already here. And the strangest part? They don't need to do it. You never asked them to. But they chose that role anyway. And then, there's a moment that looks almost the same, but feels completely different. Your dog isn't watching the door this time. They're watching you, or more accurately, they're feeling you. Think about the days when something feels off. You didn't say anything, you didn't do anything obvious, but somehow, your dog moves closer, closer than usual. They press into your side, rest their head on you. Stay there, longer than normal. That's not coincidence. That's detection. Because your dog doesn't understand your thoughts. But they read your body like a signal. Your breathing shifts. Your heart rate changes. Your movements lose their rhythm. And most importantly, your scent changes. Stress, anxiety, tension, they all leave a chemical trace, and your dog picks it up instantly before you even fully realize it yourself. But here's the part most people miss. They don't just notice it. They respond to it by getting closer. By staying in contact, by syncing themselves to you. That quiet pressure against your body, that steady presence next to you, it's not random affection. It's regulation. They're trying to bring you back down, back to calm, back to steady, back to something that feels safe again. Not with words, not with understanding, just with presence. And maybe that's why it feels so subtle. Because nothing about it looks dramatic. No barking. No sudden reaction, just your dog, refusing to leave your side, as if something inside them is saying, "You don't feel right, so I'm staying." If you've ever felt your dog do this without knowing why, just comment why below. Because that moment, it wasn't small. And this is where it becomes something deeper. Because at some point, your dog had a choice, not just where to sleep, but how to sleep. Think about it. There are quieter places in your home, safer corners, spaces where nothing moves, nothing shifts, nothing interrupts, places where they wouldn't get bumped in the night, where no one rolls over, where everything stays predictable. And yet, they walk past all of it every single time to climb into a space that is less stable, less certain, closer to you. That's not comfort, that's a decision. Because sleep, for a dog, isn't just rest, it's exposure. Their awareness drops. Their reactions slow. their guard comes down. In the wild, that's the moment that matters most, when something could happen. And they wouldn't be ready, so instinct tells them, find somewhere hidden, stay out of reach, protect yourself first. But your dog does the opposite. They choose visibility. They choose closeness. They choose you. And that changes the meaning completely, because they're not just falling asleep near you. They're letting go, next to you, letting their body soften, letting their guard drop, letting themselves become vulnerable in your presence, not because they have to, but because, to them, you are the safest place in the world. And maybe that's what most people never fully realize. Your dog isn't just sleeping beside you. They're trusting you with the moment they can't protect themselves. And then there's something even quieter happening, something you can't see at all. Because when your dog presses into you, when they dig into the blankets, circle, and settle right against your body, it's not just comfort, it's chemistry. Your dog experiences the world through scent first, before sight, before sound. And your bed? It's the strongest version of you anywhere in the house. Your scent is everywhere, layered into the fabric, held in the pillows, wrapped into the space where you rest. So when your dog pushes their nose into it or presses their body into yours, they're not just getting cozy. They're connecting on a biological level, because physical closeness between you and your dog triggers something powerful. Oxytocin, the same hormone that bonds a mother to her child, the same chemical that tells the body, you're safe, you belong here, you're not alone. And here's what most people don't realize. This doesn't just happen once. It happens every night, again and again. That small routine, curling in, pressing closer, staying there, it's a ritual, a chemical loop that soothes their nervous system. That steady contact, that warmth, it's not dependency, it's regulation. They're using your presence to stabilize how they feel. And maybe that's why, when you've been gone for a while, they don't just greet you. They search for your scent. They return to your bed. They press into your side harder than usual, as if they're restoring something that faded. Because to them, that closeness isn't optional. It's how they rebalance, how they reconnect, how they come back to feeling okay. And all of it happens in silence. And then there's the part most people look at every night, but never really see: the position your dog sleeps in. Because it's not random, it's language. Start with the curl, tight, compact, nose tucked in, everything pulled close. It looks peaceful, but it's protective. They're covering their vital organs, keeping their body guarded. Even in rest, that's a dog who feels safe enough to be near you, but not fully ready to let everything go. Now look at the opposite, the full sprawl, on their back, legs open, belly completely exposed. That's not just comfort, that's complete trust. Because no animal exposes their most vulnerable area unless they believe nothing will harm them. Not here. Not with you. Then there's the one people misunderstand the most. When your dog turns their back to you, it can feel distant, like they're ignoring you. But it's the opposite. In canine language, turning your back means, I don't need to watch you. That's trust at the highest level. They're not disconnecting. They're relaxing. Completely. And then there's the closest one of all, when they press into you, against your legs, your back, your side, no space left between you. That's not just affection, that's connection, a need for contact, for grounding, for presence. Because for your dog, their body isn't just resting, it's speaking, quietly, constantly. And once you start noticing it, you realize they've been communicating with you this whole time. And then there's something even deeper than trust, something your dog changes just to stay connected to you. Their rhythm, because by nature, dogs don't sleep the way you do. They're not built for one long, uninterrupted night. They're wired to drift in and out of sleep, wake up, move, rest again, over and over. It's how they've always survived. Light sleep, quick reactions, always ready. But when a dog becomes deeply bonded to you, that pattern starts to shift. They stay awake longer during your day. They settle when you settle. They sleep when you sleep. Not because it's natural for them, but because it's you. They begin to align themselves to your world, your schedule, your energy, your pace. And that's not a small adjustment. That's a biological one. It means overriding instinct, letting go of what their body is designed to do, just to stay in sync with you. Think about that. Your dog didn't just learn your routine. They adapted to it, quietly, gradually, without you ever asking. And maybe that's why this is so easy to overlook, because it doesn't look like anything. No signal, no obvious moment, just your dog, falling asleep when you do, waking up when you move, existing on your rhythm. But underneath that, there's a choice being made, again and again, to be where you are, even if it means changing how I'm built. And then, something changes, not slowly, not gradually, just one night, they're not there anymore. The space beside you feels different, lighter, quieter. And at first, it's easy to ignore. Maybe they just wanted space. Maybe they found a new spot. But here's what most people don't realize. Dogs don't break patterns like that without a reason. If your dog has been choosing you night after night, that wasn't random. It was a routine built on trust. So when that routine suddenly disappears, that's not a small change. That's a message. Sometimes it's physical, pain, discomfort, something subtle you can't see yet. Jumping onto the bed feels harder. Lying close doesn't feel the same. So they move away, not because they want to, but because something doesn't feel right. Other times, it's environmental. A new smell, a new person, a small shift in the room that feels big to them. And sometimes, it's a moment you didn't notice, a sudden noise in the night, an accidental movement that startled them. And now, that space doesn't feel safe anymore. But here's the part that matters most. They're not being distant. They're responding to something in their body, or something in their environment, or something in their memory. So when they stop sleeping next to you, don't brush it off. Pay attention, because the dog who once chose you is still communicating with you, just in a different way now. And this is where everything comes together, because in the end, this was never about the bed, not the softness, not the space, not the habit. It was about what your dog feels when they're next to you. Safety, connection, a place where they can finally let go. Every night they chose you, they were choosing that feeling. And now that you see it this way, that small moment doesn't feel small anymore. So let me ask you something simple. When your dog sleeps beside you, do they fully relax? Or do they stay just a little alert? If this made you see your dog differently, just comment why below. Because sometimes, understanding begins the moment you finally notice.